now we're at the time where the Hamashiach is getting ready to come.
And hidden riches of secret places, that thou mayest know that I am the Lord.
Last words, brother.
Shalom, ma.
All right.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom, Yasharel. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom, Israel. Shabbat shalom. Welcome.
Pray that you're having a blessed Shabbat. Oh, man. It's been good. But, and with all the things that's going on, we're seeing a lot of stuff unfold right before our very eyes. Let's just hope and pray that the Most High will just snatch them imposters out of our land.
All right.
Let the destruction begin.
Man, bring it out.
All right, so we got a nice little treat for you. Man, already we got like 30 people on already, man.
All praises to the Most High, man. They can't hide. You can't hide from the Most High.
No place to hide. No place to hide. So we're gonna get it. But before we get into our scripture reading. All right. Well, in the book of Jubilees. So it's four. So we'll just go back and forth, brother. I'll start with verse 30 and then 31, and then we'll go back and forth. We'll do it that way. All right. Everybody good out there? All right. Already said one in the chat box. Can you hear everything okay out?
Yeah, brother. Loud and clear, man. Loud and clear.
All right. Let's begin. It says, declare and say to the children of Yasharel, the Torah of this day, both that they should guard the Shabbat thereon, and that they should not forsake it in the error of their hearts, and that it is against the Torah to do any work thereon which is unseemly, to do thereon their own pleasure, and that they should not prepare thereon anything to be eaten or drunk, and that it is against the Torah to draw water or bring in or take out thereon through their gates any burdens which they had not prepared for themselves on the sixth day in their dwellings. Now, when you look at the first part where it says that the Torah of this day, both that they should guard the Shabbat thereon, and that they should not forsake it in the error of their hearts. That means in your thoughts. That means that, you can't be hating your brother in your heart on the Shabbat, or you think about murdering somebody on the Shabbat. Even your thoughts have to be pure on the Shabbat.
That's right. Or, right, you can't celebrate it on Sunday, right? You're in the error of your ways. Just because the Pope changed it from Saturday to Sunday doesn't mean that you're supposed to celebrate the Shabbat on a Sunday. The rest day is still, it will always be on a Saturday. Verse 31, and they shall not bring in nor take out from house to house on that day. For that day is more holy and blessed than any Jubilee day of the Jubilees. On this we kept Sabbath in the heavens before it was made known to any flesh, to guard the Sabbath thereon on the earth.
Powerful. Verse 32, and the creator of all things blessed it, but he did not sanctify all peoples. You hear that? All peoples and nations to guard the Shabbat thereon, but Yahshua alone, them alone he permitted to eat and drink and to guard the Shabbat thereon on the earth.
God. And the creator of all things blessed this day, which he had created for blessing and holiness and glory above all days. This Torah and testimony were given to the children of Yasharel as a Torah forever until the generations. That means that today and all the way stretches into the future, we must keep the Shabbat to the best of our ability.
And that tells you right there, man, that it's never going away, because if this Shabbat, man, is as sacred as the Father himself, man, don't think that the Shabbat is ever going away. It's going to be here. It was here long before we got here, and it's going to be here way after, and that is a blessing, man. So with that being said, no place to hide. We're going to talk about some events that have taken place and is going to take place. We're going to talk about some mighty creatures that the Most High is preparing for destruction. All right. But at the same time, warning our people that we must get ready. All right. It's not enough to just hear things like this, but this should make your skin crawl. In ways that it will cause you to make haste and keep the commandments. All right. Me and Brother Aton, we don't just get up here just for the sake of it because we feel like it, or because, we ain't got nothing else to do. This is a solemn obligation that we are commanded to do. Unfortunately, if our people had kept the commandments, and obeyed, we wouldn't need to be swinging a sword like this. We could be fellowship with our brothers on the Shabbat,
right.
And we could be celebrating the feast on the feast Shabbats. This wouldn't even be a discussion. But unfortunately,
gotta bring it out. This is a full rest, though.
That's right. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and read. I'm gonna read the first 7, and then Brother Aton's gonna take over. So just bear with us because we got a lot to cover and go over, and just hold your questions until the end, and then we'll have time to get to questions. All right, this is coming from Enoch chapter 58, and this is also in the Apocrypha. In the 500th year, and in the 7th month, on the 14th day of the month of the lifetime of Enoch, in that parable, I saw that the heaven of heavens shook, that it shook violently, and that the powers of the Most High and the angels, thousands of thousands and myriads of myriads, were agitated with great agitation. And when I looked, the Ancient of Days was sitting on the throne of his glory, while the angels and saints were standing around him. A great trembling came upon me, and terror seized me. My loins were bowed down and loosened. My reins were dissolved, and I fell upon my face. The holy Michael, another angel, one of the holy ones, was sent, who raised me up. Now you got to understand, just a visionary here. Just a
my man clothes busted off his, you know what I'm saying? I'm sorry, that's crazy, man.
I almost think that he was losing his bowels and stuff,
Yeah, his clothes busted off of him when he was in front of
a little pee might have came out of him too. I don't, but just imagine, seeing something that glorious like that. There's no way, man. Especially in our nature. And Enoch was a holy man. Enoch was a just brother. And but just think about if we see something like that now, man, our fleshes would probably melt off our fleshes would melt off our bones because of the level of wickedness that we contain in ourselves.
Man, that's how we need to start a movie, just like that. With that scene when you the scene needs to start off. That's how you start off. Man, that would be an epic movie, man.
Oh man, all right, man. We might have to put that in AI, man. Come up with something.
Yeah, you might be right, man.
And it says, and when he raised me, my spirit returned, for I was incapable of enduring this vision of violence. He says, visions of violence. It's agitation and the concussion of heaven. Now, mind you, that this was all before the flood. So, Most High was angry at his people because they turned away. All right, verse 2. Okay, read down already. Okay, verse 3. It says, then Holy Michael said to me, wherefore art thou disturbed at this vision? Now, who wouldn't be disturbed? You see something like that, clothes busting off of you and everything. It says, hitherto has existed the day of mercy, and he has been merciful and long suffering towards all who dwell upon the earth. Because in Jubilees, it also says that the Most High shook the whole earth, and man, these folks still didn't budge. There's 5. But when the time shall come, then shall the power, the punishment, and the judgment take place, which the Lord of spirits has prepared for those who prostrate themselves to the judgments of righteousness, for those who abjure and judgment, and for those who take his name in vain. That is a huge one, because we are the chosen people of the Most High, and when we bow ourselves down to these other religions, we're taking the Most High's name in vain. We're not doing what we say we're doing. We're not keeping the commandments. That's taking his name in vain, because we were called, the commandments were given to us. Verse 6, that day has been prepared for the elect as a day of covenant, and for sinners as a day of inquisition. All right, that means that's some stuff's getting ready to pop off. Go ahead, I'll read verse 7, and then I'll turn it over to you.
Okay.
It says, in that day shall be distributed. Read that again. In that day shall be distributed for food 2 monsters, a female monster whose name is Leviathan, or Leviathan, as some people pronounce, dwelling in the depths of the sea above the spring of waters. Let me just read that verse 8 right quick, and then I'll turn it over because it goes together. And a male monster whose name is Behemoth, which poses moving on his breast, the invisible wilderness. Now, y'all remember those Godzilla movies that they used to make, King Kong, Godzilla, and all that kind of stuff? The heathens, they know that these monsters exist. And, they make movies about it and stuff and show you in the movies and kind of tease you a little bit. Of course, they, put their own little folly in there, though. But it's talking about 2 great monsters, one female and one male. But watch what's getting ready to happen.
I want to bring out verse 7, right? I want y'all to really understand what it's saying right there, right? It says, dwelling in the depths of the sea, above the springs of the waters, right? So that's a depthness that we just can't get to yet. It's so deep down there, right? It says above the springs of the waters. I wonder if any of y'all seen that video where you had that guy, he went down to the depths of the ocean, and then at the bottom of the ocean he found some more water, but it was like of a thicker viscosity than the water was around him. I believe that those are the depths of the sea, right? The depths of the sea.
Remember that documentary? It was something. What was the deepest that they ever dug into the ground? Was it 7 miles? 7. And that was with
almost 7 miles. Yep, almost 7 miles.
Can you imagine, like, and the earth probably goes way beyond that under the earth. Can you imagine, like, the different levels of stuff that's under there, and like waters that you couldn't even imagine? That was just, that blows my mind, man.
God. And while we're covering this, right, we just want you to know the beginning, right? Like these monsters, right? These so-called monsters, right? They still exist today, right? These monsters have been saved for the time of perdition, right? The Most High has kept them, right? Just imagine how wise and how smart these monsters are in these times that they've seen all the things that man has done, right? It says in verse 9, his name was Dayan in the east of the garden, right? Because it says the behemoth which possesses, right, moving on his breast, the invisible wilderness. What is the invisible wilderness, right? Like Brother Daniel was saying, right? That is the heavens. That's the sky, right? That's the air you can't see. That's the invisible wilderness, right? Moving his breast, because like birds or anything that flies, they move their breasts when they fly, right? So we have a behemoth that flies. That's kind of, man, that's scary, right? Just think about that. And the Most High has reserved these creatures, right, for the last days for punishment. It says his name was Dayan in the east of the garden, where the elect and the righteous will dwell. Okay, man, come on, right? Where he received it, where he received it from my ancestor, who was man, from Adam, the first of men, whom the Lord of spirits made. Then I asked another angel to show me the power of those monsters, right? How they became separated on the same day, one being in the depths of the sea and one in the dry desert. And he said, thou son of man art the desirous of understanding of secret things. And the angel of peace who was with me said, these 2 monsters are by the power of God prepared to become food, that the punishment of God may not be in vain. Then shall children be slain with their mothers, and sons with their fathers. And when the punishment of the Lord of spirits shall come upon them, shall it continue. And the punishment of the Lord of spirits may not take place in vain, after the judgment shall exist with mercy and suffering. In other words, these creatures, right, they're here to feast on the humans, right? To feast on the wicked. and they are preserved for the last days.
Read that. Read that part again. That last part.
Con. And when the punishment of the Lord of spirits shall continue, upon them shall it continue, that the punishment of the Lord of spirits may not take place in vain. After that, judgment shall exist with mercy and long suffering.
You know, I'm gonna tell you something, man. Like you fast forward to today. We've been living in a time where long suffering, man, is running its course with the Most High. And if you look how wicked these people are, you know, it's crazy. And man, it's coming to an end. You know, the long suffering portion is drawn to a close, because like, even though we don't live as near as long as they did before the flood, but we about just as wicked though. You know,
right.
Just imagine that, living short lives but being just as wicked. That's crazy. You know, that just tells you the level of wickedness and why the Most High had to cut the lifespan short. Man.
Imagine it, man. I couldn't. I mean, not in this body, man. I couldn't imagine stacking up, 500 years of wickedness in this body. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's that's crazy. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I know why. I could see easily why the Most High would cut them days short, cut you down by a tenth of what you could that used to live. Most High cut Adam short of a day, 970 years. And say, all right, yeah, you one short of a day there, my boy.
Yeah.
Let me see. Hey, you want to read? Hey, you want to go to 59 where it talks about the how the earth and everything split up and stuff, or you want to Want to continue on? Okay.
We can.
I think it's 14 verses in this one too, so you can read 15.
Okay.
All right. So if you want to read the first 8, I'll read the last 7. Yeah,
we can read that, because then it kind of goes into that, and then we get back because there's some other ones in Job we're going to cover. Bear with us, Joshua. We got a lot to cover. All right, so this is Enoch. It says, then another angel who proceeded with me, Enoch 59, spoke to me and showed me the first and last secrets in heaven above and in the depths of the earth. And this is powerful, y'all. In the extremities of heaven and in the foundations of it and in the receptacle of the winds. He showed me how their spirits were divided, how they were balanced, and how both the springs and the winds were numbered, according to the force of their spirits. He showed me the power of the moon's light, that its power is a just one.
Hold up now. Are you sure that the moon don't have this it doesn't reflect off the sun?
It says that its power is a just one. Now remember, in Enoch 68, it says that the sun and the moon are both dimensions, and they both give off their own light. So how can scientists be saying that the the moon is a reflection of off the moon? That's dumb. It says that its power is a just one, as well as the divisions of the stars, according to their respective means. So that means the sun has its own light, that every division is divided, that the lightning flashes, that its troops immediately obey, and that a cessation takes place during thunder and continuance of its sound, nor are the thunder and the lightning separated, neither do both of them move with one spirit, yet are they not separated. You know, this is amazing, because this lets you know, even when we talked about the two creatures, that, the Most High has everything in order, has everything preserved for destruction. I'm telling you, Yashua, we ain't seen nothing. Like me and Eitan was talking earlier today, how the weather patterns are getting crazy just across the earth everywhere. And we've experienced some higher than temperatures, for the spring season. But get ready, because we're going to see things really get out of whack. I truly believe that the Most High is sending his angels to give this earth to shake it up a little bit, and it's we're discovering some little earth pains that are happening.
Verse 8, that's on you.
All right,
Mark.
bro. Oh, okay. It says, "For when the lightning, for when the lightning lightens, the thunder sound, and the spirit of a proper period pauses, making an equal division between them. For the receptacle upon which their periods depend is loose, and saying each of them at a proper season is restrained with a bridle, and turned by the power of the Spirit, which thus propels them according to the spacious extent of the earth." So we're just talking about how lightning and thunder works. You know, this is something that man cannot replicate. You know, they can try to create stuff. They can do all the chemtrails to try to block out the sun, but the Most High has a way, man, where you just they cannot replicate it. Never will be able to.
Let me pick up with verse 9. It says, "The spirit likewise of the sea is potent and strong." And we do know that the seas have their own spirits, because we do have seas that mesh up right against each other, but they don't cross over. Right? That's because the law of the Most High, it stays. Right? It says, "The spirit likewise is of the sea, is potent and strong, and as a younger power causes it to ebb, so it is driven forwards and scattered against the mountains of the earth. The spirit of the frost has his angel. In the spirit of hail there is a good angel. The spirit of snow ceases in its strength, and the solidarity of spirit is in it, which ascends from it like a vapor, and it is called refrigeration." All right, man, these people, the scriptures, man, imagine this way back in the day. You know what I mean? They already knew how to cool stuff down. This is amazing, right? This is amazing. It says, the spirit also of mist dwells with them in their receptacle, but it has a receptacle to itself, for its progress is in splendor, right? Because remember, in the beginning, like me and Brother Daniel was talking on the earth, before it rained, it used to mist up from the ground only, right?
Yep.
In light and in darkness, in winter and in summer, its receptacle is bright, and an angel is in it. The spirit of dew has its abode in its extremities of heaven. Right? So it says that the spirit of dew has its home in the extremities of heaven, right? Which means the highest part of the heavens, in connection with the receptacle of rain, and its progress is in winter and in summer. The cloud produced by it and the cloud of the mist become united. One gives to the other. And when the spirit of the rain is in motion from its receptacle, angels come, and opening its receptacle bring forth. When likewise it is sprinkled over all the earth, it forms an union with every kind of water on the ground. For waters remain on the ground because they afford nourishment to the earth from the Most High who is in heaven. Right? Upon this account, there is a regulation of the quantity of rain which the angels receive. These things I saw, of all of them, even paradise. See, and that would actually make sense, because we know for a fact that for the flood to be true, right? And we do see fossils of fish on top of Mount Ararat and things of this nature. And we wonder, how in the world do these, fossils of, sea creatures get that high up on the mountains? That's because the flood's real. And not only that we know that the flood is real, when the scriptures say that the Most High had opened up the windows of heaven, right? We know that there has to be water on the outside of the firmament. I guess that's when you look up. That's why the sky is blue, right? Because it's water up there you're really looking at in the daytime. And so for the earth to be flooded, there had to be more water, right? Or there had to be water that come from somewhere else, not the water that we already have right now that's on the earth that we have raining, or because we would never get a flood. It doesn't matter how much flood it has, because we have all the water here. It comes up from the seas, the rivers, right, and lakes. And then it evaporates, it goes into the clouds, and it comes back down to rain again. So, just like the scriptures say, for it to be a flood, we had to get water from somewhere else, the depths, and then the springs of water that are above the firmament. All right, you want to go to another scripture? What, Job, you wanted to hit?
Yep, I brought it up. So this is it's 34 verses. So we can because it really gets into depth about the Leviathan. So I'll let you read the first 10. We'll just go back. We'll just switch back and forth.
All right.
10 apiece and everything. Alrighty.
Yeah, you want me to start or you want to start it?
I can start it.
Go on. Rock and roll.
All right. All right. So, as you know, Job talks about, he goes into depth with the Leviathan. So it says, canst thou draw out Leviathan with a hook, or his tongue with a cord which thou lettest down? Now, we just read in Enoch. Now, this is an ancient creature. It was talking about, can you catch this thing with a hook like you do a regular fish? It says, canst thou put a hook into his nose, or bore his jaw through with a thorn?
Hey, I want to cut it for just 1 second, if you don't mind. Right? I want y'all to remember that back in the day, and these days, the human beings, they were like large, they were huge, right? They're not the same type of guys that we have nowadays, right? These are the old, right? These are the brothers of old, right? This is Brother Job right here from the tribe of Issachar, right? Mm-hmm. So, and then and this is near the first, right? Near the first brothers, right? Because I think Issachar was still alive, because I think he's a direct son from Issachar, right, if I'm not mistaken. So that would mean that remember now, 12 of the brothers had the power to conquer a city. So for him to be saying, "Can you catch a Leviathan with the hook?" Right, or some, exactly. They were probably like fishing sharks and like it was nothing. You know what I'm saying? But go ahead, Salaki.
Yeah. Also, when you look at the book of Job, Job was one of those only books that the Bible was not written in chronological orders, and this is why people always try to say that Job was an Edomite, because they don't understand. If they really do their research, the book of Job was part of the book of Genesis. When the lost Dead Sea Scrolls were found. And that's how you could trace Job to the tribe of Issachar. The scripture says literally the tribe of Issachar. All right, it says, will he make many supplications unto thee? Will he speak soft words unto thee? Will he make a covenant with thee? Wilt thou take him for a servant forever? Wilt thou play with him as with a bird? Or wilt thou bind him for thy maidens? Shall the companions make a banquet of him? Shall they part him among the merchants? So he's making all these comparisons because, he's trying to get you to see the big picture that this ain't no regular sized creature. It says, canst thou fill his skin with barbed irons, or his head with fish spears? Lay thine hand upon him. Remember the battle. Do no more. Behold, the hope of him is in vain. Shall not one be cast down even at the sight of him? None is so fierce that dare stir him up. Who then is able to stand before me?
Who have prevented me? Oh, Khan. You ready?
Yep.
All right, Khan. It says, who hath prevented me that I should repay him? Whatsoever is under the whole heaven is mine. I will not conceal his parts, nor his power, nor his comely portion. Who can discover the face of his garment, or who can come to him with his double bridle? So it means all these weapons and things of that nature, it doesn't matter, right? You cannot harm the Leviathan. It says, who can open the doors of his face? His teeth are terrible round about. His scales are his pride, shut up together as close as a seal. One is so near to another that no air can come in between them. Now that's some tight scales right there, right? No air can come in between them, man. Hey, man, he's protected. All right. They are joined one together. They stick together. They cannot be sundered. It means that you can't, you can't break them apart. By his nestlings and light doth shine, and his eyes are like the eyelid of the morning. Dang. Right. So his eyes is glowing, and hey, you can roll that up. All right, Con. Right. It says, but his nestlings are of light doth shine, and his eyes are like the eyelids of the morning. Right. So his eyelids shine. That's crazy. Out of his mouth go burning lamps. So he's like a dragon almost, right? Like a dragon. Out of his mouth go burning lamps, and sparks of fire leap out. Out of his nostrils go a smoke, as out of a seething pot or cauldron. Now, I want to talk about something, right? Because I know you guys see and I know you've heard of it. But now it's come to light that all these exhibits in these museums, right, that claim to be dinosaurs, they're not dinosaurs. Right, those bones have been fabricated to make something look like something than it was. But a lot of people are coming to the understanding now that the Bible was true, and those are fossils of actual dragons. Right, those are fossils of actual dragons. And that would seem to make sense, especially reading, what we've been reading here in the scriptures. Go ahead, brother.
Right. All right. Verse 21. His breath kindleth coals, and a flame goeth out of his mouth. So, hey, look, there he go. His brother Ethan was saying earlier, he's the type of dragon. Because look, it says his breath kindleth coals, and a flame goeth out of his mouth.
This is a real live Godzilla.
Neck, yeah, exactly. That's where you think they got Godzilla from.
Yeah, this is a real live Godzilla.
Yep. Because when you see the movie Godzilla, it really explains, when you look at the scales of Godzilla, those things are so airtight. That means it's a perfect replica.
You got sparks and all that stuff.
Yep. In his neck remaineth strength, and sorrow is turned into joy before him. The flakes of his flesh are joined together. They are firm in themselves. They cannot be moved. And they talked about that earlier too. It says, his heart is as firm as a stone, yea, as hard as a piece of the nether millstone. Millstone. Y'all know how hard that thing is? That thing is hard. Almost like that thing is almost like hard as diamond.
Hey, right. Every single I know y'all have heard of like stories of dragons and the knights going to slay the dragons, and how they say they have to be super strong to pierce the scales to get under the scales, and then they're rock. Then the heart is rock hard, so you have to all of this stuff, man. It's amazing how you can just read it in the scriptures and you see where these heathens come up with these fantastical stories from. Exactly. It's not even original, right? It comes from the history of our people.
They just like to put their own twist on it, try to claim they came up with it. It says, when he raiseth up himself, the mighty are afraid. By reason of breaking, they purify themselves. The sword of him that layeth at him cannot hold. The spear, the dart, nor the harbigon. He esteemeth iron as straw, and brass as rotten wood. So, man, that's like you can't throw nothing at that thing. It says the arrow cannot make him flee. Sling stones are turned within him into stubble. Darts are counted as stubble. He laugheth at the shaking of a spear. You go ahead and get those last ones out, because this is only 4 left.
Okay, come. It says sharp stones are under him. He spreadeth sharp pointing things upon the mire. He maketh the deep to boil, right? Oh, sharp stones are, okay, so his claws are like sharp stones, right? He spreadeth sharp pointing things among the mire, right? He maketh the deep to boil like a pot. He maketh the sea like a pot of ointment. Damn, right? He maketh the path to shine after him. One would think the deep to be hoary. Upon earth there is not his like, who is made without fear and beholdeth all things. He is a king over all children of pride. I'll be making these monsters out here, man. Matter of fact, let's I want to go to Amos.
Yep, bring it up.
Now remember, right? Now we saw if Brother Daniel wants to look up something in the background. Sorry, I didn't mean to put this on you like this out, but
it's okay, it's okay.
Man, you mind looking up where these heathens, they try to build these underground bunkers, they try to build these cities under the water and all this other stuff, right? Because these heathens, they're gonna try to hide. Right? It's not a
I got you.
Right? It's not a mystery that they've got a space force, even though they know there's no such thing as space. Right? Who do you think they're preparing for? Right, these heathens know the book does not include them in there, so they're going to try to fight. They're going to try their damnedest to fight. It even says it in the scriptures. They're going to try their hardest to fight the Lord because they don't want to go into captivity. Amos chapter 9. It says, I saw the Lord standing upon the altar, and he said, smite the lintel of the door, that the posts may shake, and cut them in the head, all of them, and I will slay the last of them with the sword. He that fleeth of them shall not flee away, and he that escapeth of them shall not be delivered. Though they dig into hell, means they dig into the ground as far as you can go. Thence shall my hand take them. Though they climb to heaven, thence I will bring them down. And though they hide themselves on the top of Mount Carmel, I will search and take them out thence. And though they be hid from my sight in the bottom of the sea, thence.
That's the one you wanted.
Will I, yeah, Khan. Thence will I command the serpent, and he shall bite them. Who's the serpent that we read about? Right? That we just read about that was in the sea. That's the Leviathan.
That's right. That was the verse you was talking about, where it talked about they're going to be trying to hide in bottom bunkers and stuff. So
that's right. You know, what I mean? There's no. I mean, videos of heathens. I was talking about the videos of heathens actually trying to build these structures.
Oh, you want the picture? You want the pictures? Okay.
Con. If you had any.
That's right. Yeah, let me find it.
All right. Well, you know, a matter of fact, let's go. Right. Let's talk about some more monsters that the Most High has. Let's go to Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 11. Why, brother Dave's looking up that. Some of them. I think go to 17. Right. Boom. Let's put it there right here. All right. It says, "For the Almighty." Hold on. Let me scoot this up. It's real lucky. It says, "For the Almighty hand that made the world of matter without form, wanted not means to send them a multitude of bears or fierce lions or unknown wild beasts full of rage, newly created, breathing out either a fiery vapor or filthy scents of scattered smoke, or shooting horrible sparks out of their eyes." Okay. Hold up.
Yep.
I see what you're doing, Salakia. All right, Khan. Okay. Or shooting horrible sparks out of their eyes. Man, when have we seen creatures like this, right? Wherefore, not only harm the might dispatch them at once, but also the terrible sight utterly destroy them. Yea, and without these might have fallen down with one blast, being persecuted of vengeance and scattered abroad through the breath of thy power. But thou hast ordered all things in measure and number and weight. So we see here, man, that the Most High, not only has he created dragons, the Leviathan, the Behemoth, right, but other horrible creatures, right? Unknown wild beasts that are full of rage, newly created, breathing out either a fiery vapor, filthy scents of scattered smoke, or shooting horrible sparks out of their eyes. Man, that's why they got that Superman eye beam, right? Well, shooting terrible sparks out of that. I mean, this stuff sounds like something out of a movie, right? And here we are reading the scriptures. Man, the wicked actually think that they're going to escape in that day. They can barely escape now. Go ahead, Doc, man. Bring those pics up, if you don't mind.
Yeah, give me a second.
See, man, heathens, man, that's all they're doing. Especially in that like bottom right hand corner, you got that bunker or bomb. I saw this other video. They had this heathen driving through this underground city that was miles and miles long through some mountain, right? And then the heathen was he was on the he had made a recording of himself and then he had posted it. He was saying, "Yeah, I don't know what this is," and he was just driving by showing miles. Oh, do you have that? Oh yeah. Yeah, man. The Leviathan is coming. They know he's gonna be able to be safe. Right, God. Right.
Yes, sir.
So these heathens, man, they're not gonna be able to escape the death and destruction that the Most High has set up for them. It says, "For the Almighty hand that made the world of matter without form, when it not means to send among them a multitude of bears or fierce lions or unknown beasts." Right? Wherefore not only harm, but might dispatch them as once, but also the terrible sight utterly destroy them. So there's going to be coming some times that in the scriptures that we are not, that the wicked, they're not going to be able to bear sight of these creatures that the Most High makes. There's no place to hide. There's no place to escape.
That's right. I didn't know he's done now. Let me go back. I'm just trying to put that
All
on
right, man. I'm
screen.
good. I'm good. Yeah, that's good.
Okay. All right. Psalms 104. It says 25. It says, so is this great and wide sea. Now, we know that the sea as it remains is very huge. All right. You can get lost out there. This stuff this within our own areas of space that haven't been discovered in the sea. Little islands that haven't been discovered yet because it's that vast.
Yeah.
So is this great and wide sea, wherewith are things creeping innumerable, both small and great beasts. There go the ships. There is that Leviathan who thou hast made to play therein. These wait all upon thee, that thou mayest give them their meat in due season. I mean, you're not, yeah, you're not going to be able to escape these things, and these things are coming on the earth. That's going to be.
Did you grab Job 40? Did you get Job 40? I can't remember if we went.
No, go ahead. I got Job 41. No, go ahead and bring it out. Go ahead and bring out Job 40. Yeah.
So this is another one. This is short, right? So this is the size. Like I want y'all to understand the scale and size of these particular animals that the Most High has made, right? It says, "Behold, now the behemoth, which I made with thee, he eateth grass as an ox." Right. So it seems like naturally, like these creatures that the Most High made, they're not carnivores, right? They don't eat meat, right? They're docile, chilling creatures. But it looks like that the Most High is going to send them into a tizzy during the end times that they want to start eating up men. Right. It says, "Behold, now the behemoth, which I made with thee, he eateth grass as an ox. Lo, now his strength is in his loins, and his force in his navel of his belly. He moveth his tail like a cedar." Now remember those days, the cedar trees are humongous, right? So his tail is like a cedar tree. The sinews of his soul are wrapped together, right? The bones are as strong as pieces of brass. His bones are as bars of iron. He is the chief of the ways of God. He that made him can make his sword to approach unto him. Surely the mountains bring him forth food, where all the beasts of the field play. He lieth under the shady trees, and the covert of the reeds and the fiends. The shady trees cover him with their shadow. So this is like plural, shady trees, right? So imagine a beast so big, he has to lay under a lot of trees for it to hide him. The willows of the brook compass him about. Behold, he drinketh up a river and hasteth not. Right? Imagine a creature that's so big that it drinks up a river. So let's see how big of a river. He trusteth that he can draw up Jordan into his mouth. Right? This behemoth is so large that he can drink up the whole river Jordan and take it into his mouth. That's a huge animal, right? That's planes and all of that stuff, man. That's not going to be able to do nothing in that day, right? I think the scientists and all these heathens, they forget that it was the Most High that allowed all these chemical properties and compounds to be founded on the earth, right? He's the one that put them there. You think the Most High is going to put something here that can be constructed to destroy anything that he meant not to be destroyed? No. Just like I was talking to Brother Daniel the other day about evil spirits and how, you look in the movies and they show you that evil can be destroyed or vanquished, right? That's not how it works, right? Satan has a certain amount of demons that he rules over, and they cannot be beaten. They can only move from one source to the next. They are never ever defeated. Right? The only time that this stuff happens and there's a defeat happens is in the end time when the Most High says it's over with and switches it up. But from then on, we have to endure. Lucky. Go ahead, Brother Daniel.
Okay. Let me get one more here. There was another one I was trying to find. It was man, I can't think of the verse, but I think it was in Ecclesiastes. I might have to skip that one because I can't remember what it was. But it talked about the different ruach spirits that the Most High is going to release in the last days. It's all these like scorpion-like creatures and all that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah. That's in Revelation, I think. Revelation 9, I think, man. Let me go to Revelation 9.
Yeah, it's
sure?
part
I
of it.
think
But
it's Revelation 9.
But there's another one too, though. It talked about the ruach releasing ruach spirits of scorpion-like creatures and.
It's Ruach. I'm telling you, I think it's this one.
But
I'm pretty sure.
try it. Yeah, pull it up right quick.
We'll start from 3. Yeah. Face of men, they had to hear. I think it was this one. No, you know what I'm saying? I'll read it. All right.
Okay.
Here we go, right? And this is well, unless you want to read it. You want to read it?
No, go ahead, bring it out, because I'm still looking for something.
All right, here we go. We're gonna start Revelation 9. And it says, and the fifth angel sounded, and I saw a star fall from heaven unto the earth, and to him was given the key of the bottomless pit. Right. And so that was sort of like the what we got in the background right here. Right. Oh, Salakia. Let me show the background, right? We got old boy, right? Because we know all the angels are black. We got a key to the bottomless pit. Right. So let me bring this back up, Salakia. All right, what did I put? All right. So it says, and he opened the bottomless pit, and there arose a smoke out of the pit, as the smoke of a great furnace. And the sun and the air were darkened by reason of the smoke of the pit. And there came out of the smoke locusts upon the earth, and unto them was given power, as the scorpions of the earth have power. And it was commanded to them that they should not hurt the grass of the earth, nor any green thing, neither any tree, but only those men which have not the seal of God in their foreheads. Right. So if you get the mark of the beast, you damn sure don't have the seal of God on your forehead.
Nope.
Better watch out, Israel. Right? The seal of God. That means the seal of God. What is that? Right? That's the ones that are righteous, that keep the law, statutes, and commandments. Now, if you're not a righteous one, the ones that obeys the law, the Lord gonna send these smoke locusts after you, right? The ones that are scorpions, right? And to them it was given that they should not kill them, but they should be tormented for 5 months. And their torment was the torment of a scorpion when he striketh the man. So like how it feels when you get hit by the poison of a scorpion, right? Except you're not gonna die. And in those days shall men seek death and not find it. He shall desire to die, and the death shall flee from them. Man, the most hey, man. You talk about some vengeance, man. The Most High, he gonna let you suffer on purpose. He not gonna let you die. Right? It says the men shall seek death and shall not find it, and he shall desire to die, and death shall flee from them. And the shapes of the locusts were like unto horses, prepared unto battle, and on their heads were like crowns like gold, and their faces were like the faces of men. And they had hair as the hair of, man, these are some ugly things, right? And they had hair and the hair of women, and their teeth were as the teeth of lions. And they had breastplates, and as it were breastplates of iron, and their sound of wings was as the sounds of chariots of many horses running in the battle. Man, these things are huge too, apparently, right? And they had tails like unto scorpions, and their stings in their tails, and their power was to hurt men for 5 months. And they had a king over them, which is the angel of the bottomless pit, whose name in the Hebrew is Abaddon, but in the Greek tongue hath his name Apollyon. One woe is past, and behold, there are 2 woes more hereafter. Nah, that wasn't the one, huh?
No, that wasn't the one. But that's a good one though. That's a good one. Yeah, I'll have to find it. But I believe it was Ecclesiastes. It was talking about scorpion. It was like the Most High was going to open up this dimension, and like scorpion-like creatures. Man, it was going to use the torment folks. I'll find it.
Okay,
but we don't. Yeah,
we got scorpions right here in verse 3. You know what I mean?
But this was something else though.
Something else? Okay.
Yeah.
But
anyway, I can't find it right now. Yeah, I'm sure I didn't write that one down. But not only creatures the Most High is going to use, but He's going to use. The scriptures talk about how the Most High is going to use the natural elements. So we got 2 modes. Most High got many modes of destruction. We're gonna have the Behemoth and the Leviathan destroying folks. Most High is gonna be shaking the earth. You're gonna be using the sun to burn folks.
It's
Because I do want to bring out that verse in Isaiah where it talk about the sun is getting hotter. Isaiah 21. Let me go there right quick.
Bring it out. Nobody's gonna escape the last days, man.
No, man. Yeah, it's gonna be crazy.
It's gonna be so terrifying, man. Imagine, I mean, you know, just the sky cracking open, or you know, Hamashiach coming down. You got legions of angels that you can actually see that you thought was fake the whole time. This stuff is real. You know, folks gonna be running scared. There's gonna be no escape. All the wicked are gonna get their just due.
Yeah, buddy.
I just pray that I am not among them and I am able to keep on the right path. You don't know when you could go off. Stay.
Let's get Isaiah 30.
All right, hold on. Let me take this off.
30:26 here.
Oh,
I gotta share the screen again. Yeah.
Okay, come.
Man, I wish you could share multiple screens. You can only share one screen at a time on this crazy thing. Yeah. It says, moreover, the light of the moon shall be as the light of the sun. Now we are starting to see the moon a little more in the daytime, if you notice that. Especially even the half moon, you can like see it in the daytime now. You know, but I don't know. Maybe it seemed like for me, you know, growing up, I don't remember seeing the moon during the daytime. And it says, moreover, the light of the moon shall be as the light of the sun, and the light of the sun shall be sevenfold. You know, we were talking about, Brother Aiton, somebody getting some 90 degree weather up there in South Carolina. I'm like, man, you in the South, man, you ain't seen nothing yet. It says, as the light of the 7 days, in the day that Yahweh binds up the breach of his people and heals the stroke of their wound. What is the stroke of that? What is the stroke of our wound? Captivity. And this is going to happen, man, before the time is in. Now, you know, how much has the sun gotten hotter and brighter? I don't know, you know, but you know, according to Revelation, it says that the sun we given power to scorch men, and you know, as the UV rays get higher and higher, you know, all non-indigenous creatures on the earth will be destroyed. And I say non-indigenous, I'm talking about the non-melanated people on the face of the earth. You know, the pale-skinned people who don't have no melanin. The recessive genes are going to eventually be wiped out. And this is why they're trying to cling to us. This is why they promote interracial marriages so much, especially amongst our people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm gonna bring this out and see if this is the right one, right? That I appreciate that, Brother Dre P. Let me see if this is the right one. I'm bringing it up to Brother Daniel. Let me see. Hold on.
Was it Isaiah, Leviticus?
Yeah. Look right there. Yeah. Sirach 30, right there. Is that it?
Yep. Let's see. Yep, that's it.
All right, come on.
Yep.
You want to read that whole thing, man? That's a pretty good one right there, man.
Let's read it, man.
Yeah, you want to read the whole thing? All right, we'll
just start good looking, brother. Good looking. Yep.
All right.
We want to start.
Just
start from 13. Okay.
Yeah. No, I mean you can read up to 20, and then I'll read up to 31, I guess. That'll.
Okay. All right. It says, this is coming from Ecclesiastes 39. I was looking at 30, man, for some reason. It says, yet have I more, Ecclesiastes 39, it's talking about verse 12. Yet have I more to say, which I have thought upon, for I am filled as the moon at the full.
That was a
Hearken
cut right
unto
there.
me. Yep. For I am filled as the moon at the full. What does that tell you? That the new moon is not the full moon. I don't know how these camps, man, be getting it wrong. It says, hearken unto me, ye holy children, and bud forth as a rose growing by the brook of the field. And give ye a sweet savior of frankincense, and flourish as a lily. Send forth a smell, and sing a song of praise. Bless the Lord in all his works. Magnify his name, and shew forth his praise with the songs of your lips, and with harps, and in praising him ye shall say after this manner. All the works of the Lord are exceedingly good, and whatsoever he commanded shall be accomplished in due season. That's why it pays to keep these commandments. You're gonna scroll up that.
Yeah.
And none may say, what is this? Wherefore is that for a time convenient they shall all be sought out, and all his commandments, and the water stood as a heap. At the end of his words of his mouth, the receptacles of waters. At his commandment is done whatsoever pleaseth him, and none can hinder when he will save.
Right.
The works of all flesh are before him, and nothing can be hid from his eyes. He sees forth everlasting to everlasting, and there is nothing wonderful before him.
Wee. A man need not say, what is this? Wherefore is that? For he hath made all things for their uses. His blessing covered the dry land as a river, and watered as a flood. As he hath turned the waters into saltiness, so shall the heathen inherit his wrath. I'm gonna read that again. As he hath turned the waters into saltiness, so shall the heathen inherit his wrath. See, that's the inheritance of the heathen, is wrath. Right? Your inheritance is eternal life. And his ways are plain unto the holy. So are they stumbling blocks unto the wicked. For the good are good things created from the beginning, so evil things for the sinners. The principal things for the whole use of man's life are water, fire, iron, and salt, flour, wheat, honey, milk, and the blood of the grape, and oil and clothing. All these things are for good to the godly. So to the sinners they are turned into evil. There be spirits that be created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes. In the time of destruction they pour out their force and appease the wrath of him that made them. Fire and hail.
You got to read that part again. Don't read all that too fast. It says there be spirits that are created for vengeance. What is that? What is that telling us? That means that the Most High has some vengeance preserved for his people, to avenge us, to avenge his people. All right. Remember we read earlier in Isaiah where, the sun and the moon are going to become brighter. Why? Because the Most High is slowly decapitating our enemies. We might not see it. It may not be like it's quick to us, but the Most High is doing it in his time, It's just because the Most High's time is nothing like ours. So it seems a lot slower to us that things are happening.
It's God, right? This is what Paul was talking about in Romans 9, where it says that the Most High, he created vessels under destruction and vessels for wrath and so forth and so on. What do you think? Paul doesn't never just get stuff out of the blue where he's just making up stuff, man. He's getting this stuff from the scriptures, right? There be spirits that are created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes. In the time of destruction, they pour out their force and appease the wrath of him that made them. Fire and hail and famine and death, all these were created for vengeance. Teeth of wild beasts and scorpions and serpents, and the sword punishing the wicked to destruction.
Hey, stop right there for a minute, man. You notice, man, how these heathens, man, they be out all in nature. You notice that there's been more attacks on heathens than we've ever seen before. Like literally, man. Yeah, like these animals know who they are, man, and they attacking the hell out of them.
Especially when they be going over there in Africa. They're going on them. They want to hang out the window and think they want to take a picture with a lion like a dummy. I don't know why you even going over there. Well, I know them Africans be over there laughing. It says, fire and hail and famine and death. All of these were created for vengeance. Teeth of wild beasts and scorpions, serpents, and the sword punishing the wicked to destruction. They shall rejoice in his commandment, and they shall be ready upon earth. When need is, and when their time is come, they shall not transgress his word. Which means that it's going to happen, no matter what you believe, or you think that the Lord is not going to come get you, or whatever. Man, the Most High is coming to get you. He's coming to get all the heathens and all the wicked amongst our people. Better
We're
teach the
seeing it.
children to keep the commandments.
Yeah.
Or the Leviathan gonna get there. Man.
We're
Man,
seeing, it's crazy because when you've had so many opportunities, and it's not like our people didn't have opportunities to hear the truth and reject it. But after after so many rejections, man, the Most High looks at you as a heathen. Once you reject His commandments, you know difference from you might as well just go ahead and bleach your skin. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't need it no more. It's just not for you. We got too many of our people, man, who are heathens and black skin and Israelite skin, but heathens.
Say it again, brother. You said heathens and black skin. Come on,
Heathens
man.
heathens and black skin and Israelite skin, man. You know, look like us, everything, man, but act just like and just love and act like the heathens. Man, the Most High might as well go ahead and strip your melanin away. You don't need it. What do you need it for? Go ahead and be white. Be pale. And that way you can strive to be rich and be like them, man, and live your days on this earth, and then be a servant. And then burn.
Man, as a matter of fact, I think it's, let me see. 30 maybe?
Chocolate coated heathens.
Right? What the scripture say, right? Hey, brother Ezra was calling us heathens. And therefore I say unto you, O ye heathen, that hear and understand, look for your shepherd. He shall give you everlasting rest, for he is nigh at hand and shall come in the world at the end of the world. Right? So he's not talking about he's talking about you Israelites. Right?
Oh boy.
Hear and understand, because we are currently living like heathens. Man, Ezra was mad.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You called us heathens. Oh, you heathen. You better hear and understand and look for the Hamashiach.
Chocolate coated heathens, man. Dang.
Man. That's ridiculous. Chocolate coated heathens.
Chocolate coated heathens, boy. But I'm telling you, man, our people are something else, man. I mean, that's just a brain job that's done. I've never seen. We're the only group of people. We're the only race of people, man, that would fight so hard for other races, except for our own. I mean, man, we'll fight from head to toe, man, for other races. Be out there on the front line.
I want to, right? I want y'all to understand, right? If you don't keep the commandments, just like Brother Daniel was saying, right? You're a heathen. You're not a brother, you're not a sister. Thou shalt find that Israel by name hath kept thy precepts, but not the heathen. Right? The heathen doesn't keep the law, statutes, and commandments. Just like we read before in 2nd Ezra chapter 2. Ezra was calling you heathens because you wasn't keeping the commandments. And the Most High and all the heavenly bodies and all the heavenly entities, they go off what the Most High says, and he says that the heathen is less than nothing. How can you be less than nothing? You went into the negative zone. You less than nothing. You don't want the Most High to look at you like that. He could destroy you any kind of way.
And nothing can get past the eyes of the Most High. Everything is seen.
Torture you. You know what I mean?
It says, such a man only fears the eyes of men and knows that the eyes of Yahweh are 10,000 times brighter than the sun. Beholding all the ways of men and considering the most secret parts, he knew all things ere ever they were created. So also after they were perfected, he looked upon them all. Man, can you imagine knowing that before the flood, you out there just pouring your heart out, man, that these people will turn from their wicked ways. And being the Abba, mighty Abba, knowing that how everything's going to be played out, knowing that they're not going to repent. So he had to allow his son, Hamashiach, to be like, okay, I got to let you, I know what's going to happen, but I got to let you experience this for yourself. Man, that's hard.
And he said that he built us the kingdom from the beginning, right? So it's not like the Most High didn't know that you're going to go through what you're going through now. And you got to look at it. Most of the hardships that we face as a people, right, are brought upon us by our own ignorance of the law, statutes, and commandments, and by our own choices.
That's right. And then we not only that though, man, but we suffer for the sins of our forefathers too.
God.
It's like, okay, I'll give you an example. You look at now how we have allowed our people, man, to just indulge themselves with the heathens, and look where it's gotten us on warfare. And so when you take the men out the house and you allow this stuff to creep in, well, guess what you're going to produce? You're gonna produce a regeneration of bad stock. So, but how did that start? Because it starts with us. We made a decision to indulge ourselves. So I would say our great grandmothers, and decided that it would be fit for them to be independent and teach their daughters to be black and independent. So that created a chain of destruction. All right. Now, what does this have to do with wild beasts that we're talking about, Leviathans and everything? Well, guess what? If we continue down this path, many of our people are going to find themselves in the path of destruction of these wild beasts, the Leviathan and the Behemoth, as the scripture talks about. And as we read in Ecclesiastes 39, the Most High is not a respecter of person. And we got to understand that when we break his commandments, when we break his covenant like that, things are going to be out of order. And so, like Brother Eitan was saying earlier, we brought this on ourselves. So yes, because the decision of our forefathers will affect future generations. And right now, it's just definitely too late because we are so destroyed right now to the point where you have 80% of households being led by single mothers, where you got majority of our boys being taught to act like Pookies and Ray Rays. Man, it's like a virus has been set in place to repopulate itself, and it just keeps repeating and repeating. And the only way that it can be destroyed is that it's going to have to go through the fire. It's going to have to be completely destroyed. This is why, man, it's going to be just like it was in the wilderness of old when we came out of Egypt. Think about it. When our people are taken out of their comfort zones, the first thing they're gonna think back, man, I want to be at home. I want to be at home. I'm covering my own home. Eat my scampies and shrimps and crab legs.
I don't know, man. Sometimes we think we're in a time of how everybody says like now is like the information age. You know what I mean? Yeah. I don't know. It seems like now that we're truly living in a time of ignorance, because when you read the scriptures, all this stuff seems fantasy, really, right? But back in the day, you had humans that actually was seeing like spiritual miracles, and all of these beasts and all of this scary stuff. They actually knew that this was something to be true, right? So far is that we have records, right? They had written it down, plenty of times, and we all see like throughout times, we find scriptures here and scriptures there that match up and say the exact same thing, right? That should be actually terrifying. That now it seems like we're in an information age where it seems like we know a lot, but really, according to the scriptures, right, we don't know anything. We don't have any idea what's going on, right? I think we're being shielded from the true reality that we're in. We're being shielded from life, just to the simple fact that the white man wants you to believe that you're on a round earth, on a ball, floating through outer space in pure nothingness. That alone, for you to even believe that in itself, or for that to be brought forth as something to be believed, shows how far off from the actual true scale of the reality is. Go ahead.
The scripture says that there will be a famine of the word. And I used to always think that they was going to take our Bibles away. It's scripture. I think that was one of the Gospels, but it says that there will be a famine of the word. And I used to think when I was little, man, that they're going to take our Bibles and stuff away. No, they're not. They don't have to, because think about it, man. You can get Bibles on print, PDF now, anything. We got so much access to the Bible. It's the fact that the ignorance is going to increase so much to the point where people are not going to even have a desire to even search scriptures anymore, when they can just go watch a video That's the famine of the word, man. It's right, and it's hitting us right in our faces. No, they don't. They don't have to take the scriptures from us. All they got to do is just dumb everybody down. And you would think that technology, AI, would help people to be increase in knowledge, but it's not. It's they're becoming more dumber. The average Gen Z, the regular Gen Z, can't even operate a computer now because they're so used to everything on their palm of their hands.
God.
So it's they can't they don't know how to problem solve.
AI is a tool that's used for, let's say, you have to create something, and then you use AI to improve it or to bring it into a professional level. That's the use of technology. Technology isn't you saying, write me a paper about this, and then it creates you a whole paper about something. No, that's what people is doing though, right? Yeah.
It's not.
And
it's
those
not
people, right? And those people that are using it that way, those are the ones that are going to continuously grow dumb, right? You still have to be the creator, and then you have to use the technology to boost your own creation. You don't use the technology to create something that you haven't researched. Like, let's say, for example, it's like, oh, you haven't researched the damn thing, you haven't looked at no numbers, you haven't looked at nothing, and then you tell the AI to write you a paper, write me up a paper based on the statistics of a single motherhood in America, whatever the case may be, right? You haven't done any studies, you haven't looked at anything and nothing like that, and the AI just generates something for you, and you haven't thought about it yourself. It's not anything, it's not your own words, it's nothing like that. That's the problem with AI and what and what's going towards nowadays, because then you don't know who's pumping this information into the AI, and then you get to trust in it, and next thing you know, right, it says that black people were never slaves, and that this, that, and the third, what I'm saying, as history goes on, people starts getting to trust in this AI, right? And then you don't know what's going on because you put your whole belief in it instead of using it as a tool. You're using it to try to it's speaking for you, right? It's speaking for you instead of improving your own thoughts, right? Or you know what I'm saying, or something that of that nature.
And the powers that be know that too. And this is why a lot of people have supplemented AI to think for them, and that's where people go wrong at, when you allow AI to think for you. Well, it's programmed to do that. It's programmed to program your mind. And like Brother Eitan was saying, to use it, you still gotta use your own wits and your own knowledge that you have, but use it to improve what you have already. But these days, man, people are just not even thinking anymore because they don't have to, because they're letting the AI think for them. And that's why when they ask AI to write a paper, they don't even bother to think through it or anything, man. They just do it and turn it in.
Right. You see, even the scriptures know about this, right? It says, behold, I found, when it's talking about searching on wisdom, it says, lo, only this only have I found, that God hath made man upright, but they have sought out many inventions. Right? AI is a source of AI is an invention, right? Something that man has created to dumb down his own ability to think, right? And become lazy. As we become lazy, more lazy as a people, we've seen what, right? As technology has advanced, we've seen what? Less people go outside and play, right? You don't people doesn't they have the ability to socialize outside where they are with other people has become a strain, right? Relationships are down, right? Single motherhood is up, right? You have all of these new options open, right? You have a whole bunch of things that technology is doing, right? And then all of that, right? You have your information and everything, and right, these are just the devices of Satan. This is how Satan is able to know every damn thing, right? Because you're putting everything out there. You got your information all on the Facebook. You got your face to open up the screen on the phone, and you're stupid enough to think that that's not going anywhere. You think that just only staying in your device. No. How many of y'all reading the fine print of instructions of these devices and stuff that you're buying and these different apps that you're using, right? It says that they're able to use your likeness and all of this stuff when you're taking the picture and you're giving them up your fingerprints. Man, you're giving these people, man, you're giving Satan everything he needs to track you, right? Or to trap you in some wickedness. Just all of a sudden you're talking about that you might want some new shoes, and then you look on your phone and your Facebook ad, and mysteriously new shoes pop up, and you think it's just some magic. No, man, these devices are really paying attention. right? These are devices of Satan that are leading everybody, well, except for the wise, right? But they're gonna lead you to the pit.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Right? Inventions, devices, right? God, the Most High, right? He's giving you everything that you need, right? You don't need these. He didn't give Adam and Eve cell phones and all this other nonsense in the beginning, right? This stuff is right. This is causing a problem, right? The kids are dumber now for the first time ever. The IQ level has fallen.
I know, even social media itself. Like, when people scroll these videos, man, I mean, it's really, what do you get out of them? You don't get anything out of them. And they know this, man. They program that stuff to design exactly that, to be able to control your mind.
It's the real life matrix. Every day you see people locked into their phone, staring into a little damn box. And you gotta remember, everything in that little box is programmed. You have your algorithm. Why do you have your algorithm? Because the matrix is pushing this particular content to you because it wants you to watch this particular thing, right? This is how they trap you, get you hours a day when you should be in the scriptures. Should be paying attention to the society around you, watching for signs, right? Getting your spirit right. But instead, man, you on, you're doing too much. You're doing too much. You're getting soaked in. You're getting soaked in and absorbed by the matrix. When you come out of the matrix, all of a sudden, now kids, they don't know how to, ride dirt bikes and, pop wheelies and what I'm saying, and have fun. I mean, like, of course, right, the ones that grow up poor, and they're not able to access all of these devices, right? Because then you're still going to do the same thing.
Average person, when you know how to try to change a tire, man.
That's right. Yeah, man. Back in my day, I was growing up with my pops. I was watching them outside, working on the car, help them out, right? You know what I'm saying? Get made fun of if I got the wrong kind of tool, until I got it right. I know what was going on, right? Yep. The kids nowadays, right? They have no idea how to change a tire. Girls out there changing the tire. Meanwhile, you got Pookie, laying back with his pants halfway down his behind, thinking he's doing something. Why you got the girl changing the tire? This stuff is getting crazy out here nowadays. I don't know what's going on. Many inventions, man. These inventions, these inventions are all right, this is a stumbling block. That's what it is, right? This stuff is a stumbling block. I know y'all seen these like you go to China, you see these stuff how they got all these drones and stuff flying. They got synchronized drones, make it look like giant dragons in the air and stuff. Hey, I'm telling you, look, when I get old, I'm already kind of old, but when I get old, I'm telling you, Israel, I'm just gonna back off anything got anything to do with the internet. I'm not dealing with it because I know I'm gonna get scammed. They're gonna scam me.
Yep.
They scam somewhere. I'm not dealing with it, man. I can't.
Man.
This stuff is already out of control. Look at AI. Now, this is AI today. Imagine this junk in 10 years or 5 years or 3 years from now, right? Hey, Israel, listen. The us that's going to be alive 10 years from now, Lord willing, right? We're going to be in a different era. It's going to be a different time. Man, you think the health is bad now? Man, it's going to be way worse, right? They are dumbing us down day in and day out. They're dumbing you down day in and day out, and they're making you used to stuff that you should not be used to, right? Just think about it. Back, what was it, about 20 years ago, right? Faggotry and all that stuff. You just think that was weird, right? Super weird.
Mm-hmm.
Right, even 10 years ago, but I'll say 20 years ago just to be, right? What is it? 2020? Yeah. What year we in? 2021?
26.
26. So what? 2006. So even 30 years. I said 30 years. Dog, I'm getting old. Good Lord have mercy. So I said 30 years back in the 90s, right? You used to know that homosexuality was crazy, right? I think I remember growing up. I used to see something on like a hotline. They used to have to call if you're seeing some homosexuals out there, right? You had to call the hotline, and the people in the psych ward would go out and go get them boys, right? Go pick them up,
man,
and they'll put you in the psych ward, right? Because that stuff was highly illegal.
Yeah, we ain't too far from it. Because look at 2006. That's when Obama was the first president to give same-sex rights marriages to military spouses and everything. So that's when that stuff started taking off.
You're right.
When Obama came into office, I'm telling you, man, that is when that stuff really took off like a dragon.
That is one wicked Hamite.
Yeah.
That's one wicked Hamite. And they try to pass him off as being one of our people, right? And you know how stupid our people were? We didn't even realize he wasn't one of our people. We putting somebody black in there. Are you crazy? This man is a damn heathen. He is colluded with the other races to put us in slavery.
Right.
Are you this stuff is madness, right?
They do.
You out there voting, and the scriptures say you're not supposed to vote for nobody unless it's your brother. That means it's got to be your people.
That's right.
Man, this technology stuff, bro, is it's on a whole nother level.
It is, man. Does anybody have any questions or anything for the lesson?
Yep. But now, right, like I said, Israel, right, with these cell phones and you know, things that you're right. Before cell phones, we remember 30s numbers. That's right. And I know, and I'm gonna speak for myself too. Right, me and my pops, right, you know, my pops was showing me how to read maps and stuff, and so I used to know how to read maps and go travel spots, and you know, I used to do stuff like that, right, and you know, remember the routes and do stuff like that. But now, man, I will say that even I find in myself, I found my mind has gotten a little bit lazier now that I've you know, since I know I have Google Maps there. I've become kind of reliant on Google Maps. I may not be paying attention to where I'm going or the street signs or how many roads I passed, and you know, my mind is now, you know, on this Google Maps. So the signs that I normally would have had back in the day when I was driving, before all this stuff was made, you know, is now gone, right? Because I'm not putting it in practice anymore. And you got to realize this is the stuff that these elites, right? This is what they want. They want to dumb you down. The dumber you get, the easier you are to control. Government, govern your mind, right? This is what they want. They don't want strong households. They don't want families, and they don't want strong men leading the homes, coming up with their own things, what they know best is, you know, so what they know what is best for society. Fight all these wicked ass taxes we got going on here. How we get taxed a gabillion times, man. They tax you when they give you a check. You know what I'm saying? Then they tax you again when you go buy something with the same money, and then tax you and keep taking your money over and over again. What happened to this is when they first started this country with a 2% tax. That's what they fight. Man, they were dying over a 2% tax they were fighting over. And now look at what it's turned into. Right?
Look how they raising gas prices, and nobody's standing up for it. Everybody's just going along with it. Nobody's fighting, nothing. See, they've gotten to a point, man, where they don't only want Israel coming together. God. But they don't want nobody coming together.
No, man.
They got it, man. Nobody just in their own world. Everybody, you know, it's so bad that, you know, everybody just worried about trying to pay the rent. That's the thing now. Paying the rent.
Hey, that's real though, man.
Seriously. That's what people worry about now, because they've gotten to the point, man, where we're so distracted. They just want you know, it's like, dang, you know, you gotta work, and things are getting more expensive, and you know, you got to get a second job.
Fighting. They ain't even fighting for it. You're right. That's crazy. No. Two-parent household, or if we kept it like that, where the men were, you know, doing what they're supposed to, man, they would have bucked that. There's no way. There's no way. Just like the army and the men that, you know, now they're sending in troops. We all know the troops don't want to go over there and fight for this nonsense. But now, you know, we're to a point now where we have, man, I miss the days that, you know, like King David would go to fight with the warriors, right? Not only where, you know, the kings would go to war with you to show that they were worthy of leadership. Nowadays, you get some fat man with an orange wig on, sitting in the, you know, sitting in the office, right, telling people to fight somebody else's war. And this is just madness when you look at it. When you just look at it, right? Know good and well that, you know, he can't do nothing. And he's sitting, you know, and then we got our people in there, you know, where that you think it's good to join up and fight for the white man or whatever it may be. You got you a job.
Like the Matrix, man.
Crazy.
It's true like the Matrix, man. When you watch the first Matrix, that was spot on, man. Like what man. And you know, they said that they will fight you no matter what. The standing system, everybody going about their business, and it's like zombies. And that's the way it is today. Nobody's fighting for anything anymore. Everybody's living in the matrix, and they're just going along with it. Gas prices go up, so what? Nobody cares. Food prices go up, so what? Nobody cares. Rent goes up. Oh well. Man,
let it
the
happen.
heathens have accomplished it. Yeah, just let it happen. And nobody fights anymore. That's exactly what they want. They don't want nobody rising up or fighting against anything. And somebody does protest, it's to get some stupid stuff. It's to have some gay rights or something. That's the only thing they protest about.
You know what was a tester? A tester was COVID. When they made all those folks, a tester was COVID to see how dumbed down everybody got and how sheep, people became to the government. A tester was COVID. When they see how many people was going to take that damn jab with just whatever the government said. Don't do no research, don't check, don't do nothing. We're just going to believe the government, right? And we're just going to go ahead and shoot ourselves in the arm with some stuff that we don't know what the hell it is. It's crazy, man. Absolute. Nobody bucked, right? Nobody bucked. Well, you had a few, but for the most part, no. 85% of the world, right, took that damn shot. That's crazy. Right? Then it comes out later on. You know what I'm saying? That they were just experimenting.
6.8 billion people, man. Can you believe that?
Telling you, man, Satan working hard. It says that he's like a roaring lion going up and down the earth, seeking who he can devour. Man, he's working.
And vaccines are nothing but mutations, Anytime you take any kind of vaccine, it's a mutation. You look at autism. That stuff didn't exist when I was growing up, but now 1 out of every 5 children are being diagnosed with autism.
I didn't know it was that high.
No, yes, it's very high. People with autism cannot hold jobs. So what do you think that's going to look like in the future when you have all these people who have autism that cannot really function? Now, granted, you have some levels of autism that could probably function as a job, but certain kind of jobs, though. That's it.
Man, I wish they would draft me. I'm looking in the comments, man. I wish they would draft me to go to war. Boy, I'll be the super Israel bomber. Boy, you wouldn't even know. Boy, I would have killed. Lord have mercy, boy. I'm telling you, I wish they would draft me. I would be the ultimate secret Israeli bomber. I had Tel Aviv. Man, Lord knows, I'll be in there. I'll be blowing up everything I can. I wish they would draft me to the. And I'll be a dream come true to me, man. Yeah, man, send me over there. Sure, yeah, send me over there. By the end of 2 weeks, I guarantee you, about 38 mosques has been burnt down to the ground. You know what I'm saying? They killed that. To be dead, man. The heat be littered everywhere.
They got our troops fighting for Israel, man. Not against it, for it. And these troops know it, man. They know it. But again, they're not going. Nobody's going to rise up and fight against it.
I'll be the man. Boy, they better not draft me, boy. That'll be the worst mistake ever. I guarantee you. They better not draft me. I will just, man, listen. You think Samson killed him? Man, I despise those people. I despise those people with a perfect hatred. I promise you. Anybody faking to be us, man. You over there faking to be us. Knowing good and well you're not the people, and you over there trying to be us.
They're getting hit hard, man. They're trying to hide all the damage, But I pray, man. Iran keep bombing them.
Yeah, kind of. You're right, Pops. My bad.
Until there's nothing left.
Yeah, facts. Israel. Well, we got to endure to the end, Israel. So these things are not easy, right? Everything's not easy. But yeah, true. A lot of heathens have autism. Yeah, that's right. But they don't care though. They're sacrificing themselves, right? They're sacrificing. They're sacrificing themselves. The elite is. You got to remember, right? The elite, the heathens, the elite is only 1%, right? This is 1% of the population has most of the money.
Let me see if I can look this up right quick.
Right? Yeah, come on, look that up, right?
1% the percentage of autism in the Black community in 2025.
Right? 1% of the population have all the money, right? So it's the 1%. They're really concerned about them and the people that they have surrounded. They don't give a damn about their own people, right? Sure, some of them, as long as they live, the better. But they're really concerned about their own lives and bigging up what they have. That's just how it is. Right, these heathens by wicked or by any means necessary. You need the lower class, you need the middle class, you need the high class. That's just the way it works. Each one stands on the backs of the other for the other one to work. That's just the way it goes. There's always going to be poor people. There's always going to be a middle class, and there's always going to have people that have more than others. That's just the way it is.
Let me show you this, man. This is about to blow your mind, man.
What?
Autism.
That brother said 384%.
I was trying to see in the black
right?
community. What is it?
Oh,
let's see here.
But still, overall though, that's still huge.
Let's see here.
Oh,
so it says, according to 25 data released by the CD Sound Truster, man, it's probably way more. Autism and development disabilities monitoring ADDM network based on 2020 surveillance. Your data, the estimated prevalence of autism amongst black children is 3.7%. But that's huge though, still, considering the percentage we make up.
See how much the percentage rise in over 50 years.
1 in 27. Yes, that's still high though. 1 in 27 black 8-year-old children are identified with autism. 1 in 27. That's still a lot, man. That's a lot. I said 1 in 5, but 1 in 27 is still a lot. And it's probably higher than that, man. They probably just throwing some numbers out there because this is CDC, so they will throw out the numbers. And this is only by 2022. So probably 1 in 10 now. It's crazy, man. That's some crazy stuff, man.
Oh, I'm looking this up for the last 50 years, real quick, because I want to see what is the percentage, how much has the percentage raised in the last 50 years.
Because back then when I was growing up, man, they call it retardation. You could tell a person was retarded because they couldn't function at all.
Well, you can't even say that word nowadays. People get offended.
Yeah, exactly.
Holy smokes! It says that when you compare the rate in 1 in 10,000
put it on the screen.
All right, hold on, Bob. Let me see. I want to put it up on the screen. All right, hold on.
That lets you know, man, what their focus is, boy. They doing everything, man. They don't even want they do not want 1 ounce, one little if of rising up.
All right, come on, hold on. Let me put this up on the screen. Oh man, hold on, I'm gonna make that bigger. Oh, it's locked there. I'll make it better. Oh, that's good. All right. It says the rise of autism within the black community on this stationary and immovable earth has been staggering over the last 50 years. While the Most High has allowed knowledge to increase, the statistics show a sharp spike that many believe aligns with the terrors. It says the statistical rise 50 years ago in the mid-1970s, autism was considered an extremely rare condition. Today, the numbers have shifted significantly, especially the descendants of the biblical tribes, talking about Israel, right? In the 1970s, prevalence approximately 1 in 10,000, 1% of children identified with what was then a very strict definition of autism. So if we let me scroll on down. Salakia, right? Let me scroll on down. It says yes, here it is right here, right? The percentage increase, right? When you compare the rate of 1 in 10,000 from 50 years ago to the current rate of 3.66% for black children, the recorded prevalence has increased it by 36,500%.
Damn.
36,500%. All right.
So what would that be? That would be like equivalent to like 1 in 7, maybe 1 in 10.
No, that's 1 in 10,000 from 50 years ago.
That's 50 years ago.
But now, yep.
But I'm talking about now. I'm talking about now. What would it be now? Like 1 in 7?
Yep.
Does it have anything on there?
Let me see. 58% cold child data shows 52% identify with autism. Dang, what? Approximately 32%. Hold on, man. Let me finish reading this. It says the shift in the black community for many decades, the gap in diagnosis meant that black children were overlooked or misdiagnosed. However, recent data shows a historic reversal, surpassing other groups. For the first time in recorded history, the prevalence of autism among black children and Hispanic children is now higher. Oh, okay, among white children. All right, that's good. The identification catch-up in the early 2000s, white children were 50% more likely to be diagnosed than black children. By 2020 to 2022, that gap was completely closed, and the rates for black community began to eclipse all others. Also, co-challenging the data shows that 52.8% of black children identify with autism, also having a co-occurring intellectual disability, which is significantly higher than the rate of white children, approximately 32%. Damn. In other words, they're saying that we dumber than white folks. But see, the same thing is like, you know how they say that on a scale of percent on a scale of intellectual value versus men versus women, they're saying that they say that men are and they say that women are smarter, but at the same time, right, on that also means that but men have more geniuses. Like there's always genius men because we have because on men there are a greater we're greater on the spectrum, right? So we're higher on the spectrum and we're lower on the spectrum. Like there are more degenerate men than there are women, and there are more genius men than there are women. But the same thing goes for the black community, right? We are smarter than the other races, but we're also dumber than the other races, right? The lowest of us are dumber than everybody else, but the highest of us is also smarter than everybody else, if that makes any sense. All right, let me see. When do we celebrate Passover? Well, we don't have a particular day we celebrate Passover. We went over that before. That's because of the days are out of line, right? No one knows, and I do mean, and I'm serious, no one knows the correct feast days, period. You know, you don't
did
know
a video.
we
did a video on it too a while back ago as well too. So we're not doing any calendars here on out until Hamashiach comes back, because he's gonna have to reteach us everything. So you won't even be able to keep the right feast days even in our captivity, because nowhere in the scriptures where it says that we would be keeping the feast days in our captivity. Even when we read the scripture readings and Jubilees, it says that our people will go wrong for the Shabbat days and go wrong and then be led astray. It never said that we would get it right before the Mashiach comes back again. We're such a destroyed people, and I can prove it to you that we're not going to have anything until the Hamashiach comes back. So let me get that verse for you.
Remember, also when we were in Babylon, while Brother Dan pulls that up, you gotta remember also in Babylon and those things before King Artaxerxes said, "Let us go back into Jerusalem." Right, we weren't celebrating any feast days, right? Like the Passover, right? What is that? If you looked, what do you have to do for the Passover? You have to go back to the Holy Land. You're not supposed to even celebrate the Passover outside of Israel, really, right? I know there was times when we were in the desert, when we was in the wilderness celebrating the Passover, but that's when we had Hamashiach with us. We're in a totally different time, right? Than it is now. Of course, you can observe it, but like from the days of the priest of Zadok, when they did the calendar, right now you just don't know the days. It's impossible, right? No one knows which day is the first day of Abib, because you're not able to calculate the days correctly. You don't know how to calculate 0.24 days after the Jubilee days. You don't understand the like the priestly duties when you reset the days every 6 years, so forth and so on. When you add the interlation week, I mean, there's so much stuff that we have, but we don't know. Right, so no one, and I do mean no one, knows the correct feast days. Maybe the best you can do is celebrate the new moon and the Holy Shabbat. right?
Shabbat, yeah.
But it says that people go wrong to the Shabbat too, but that's because the damn Pope decided to change the Shabbat from Saturday to Sunday, right? But those of you that have knowledge and wisdom, you can at least, right, keep the Shabbat correctly, or the new moon, which is the first sliver, not the dark moon, the empty vessel that's always there. What makes the new moon new is the new light that is received into it, which is why it's the first sliver and not the dark moon. Go ahead, Aksalaki.
All right, here's Hosea 3:4. It says, "For the children of Israel shall abide many days without a king, and without a prince, and without a sacrifice," because that was one of the things you had to do, and without an image, and without an ephod, and without a teraphim. So we don't have the Levites. The Levites are not stood up. You know, the tribes are scattered. We don't know who we are. We don't know which tribe we come from, because we were mixed up with all the other tribes when we came here to America. So to try to even keep the feast days would be in vain. It would be a worthless. It would be an effort that would be in vain against the Most High, because because if you're not keeping the right day, then really you're profaning it. You know,
What scripture is that, Ak? I'm sorry, Ak. What scripture is that? The one that says you will make the unclean day a day. You know, that they'll, you know, so I can bring it up so they can see it. Which day? What scripture was that? I can't remember off the top of my head.
It was in Jubilees. Let me see if I can find it right quick.
It's definitely Jubilees. I can't remember which scripture, which chapter.
Yeah,
though.
I think it was Jubilees.
It wasn't one.
It was Jubilees. It was Jubilees chapter 6.
Chapter 6. Okay.
I think. When it talks about the moon being hold on.
Yeah. That's it. I
got it. Yeah, you got it? Because I got to pull up and see. If you got it, go ahead and bring it up.
I got it, brother. All right, Khan. Right.
Yeah, so that's why people make the mistake. That's why the camps, man, you know, they constantly try to enforce stuff, but it was not meant for us to rise up a nation on our own in the captivity. We can't do it because we wasn't the one who put ourselves in the captivity. The Most High put us in captivity.
Khan. And there's nothing that you can do to, like Brother Daniel says, if the Most High says the curses are on you, hey, they're on you. There's nothing you can do about it, right?
They're on you. Yeah.
Jubilees chapter 6, and we read this usually every Shabbat, but I'll read it real quick so we can understand. It says, "And all the children of Israel will forget," not some, all, right? The children of Israel will forget and will not find the path of the years, right? Because it's supposed to be 364 days, not 365, right? But we know that the paths of the luminaries have been disturbed when the Most High decided to push the dial back 10 degrees for Hezekiah. The Most High decided to lead the sun up for a whole day when Joshua was killing up the Amorites, right? And I think there was another time too where the Most High was dealing with the. I think there was another time too. Salaki, if I don't remember, but Salaki for me not remember. But there was another time too, and I think that the Most High was dealing with the decided to disturb the heavenly bodies, right? So now it's 365.24 days that it takes to get to be 1 year. But the Zadok priest and all our priests back in those days, they had figured out how to keep the year 364 days and add an extra in a calendar week. Anyways, it says all the children of Israel will forget and not find the path of the years, and will forget the new moons, the seasons, right, the Shabbats, and they will go wrong as to all the order of the years. So when this happens, that means that it is impossible for us to keep the correct feast days, right? For I know, and then from hence therefore I declare it unto thee, that it's not of my own devising, for the book lies written before me, right, on the heavenly tablets, right? So this is something he already knew. It was ordained. The division of days is ordained, lest they forget the feast of the covenant and walk according to the feast of the Gentiles, right, after their error and after their ignorance. For it will be those that will surely make observations of the moon and how it disturbs the seasons and comes in from year to year 10 days too soon, right? And most of the camps, they try to say that the first day of the month, oh yeah, with the moon, and the moon is the first there, the new moon is the first day. No, that's not it, right? The scriptures already told you about that. Matter of fact, right, the sons of Zadok back in the day, right, the Levites, they were going to battle, right, with the evil moon doctrine of the Pharisees, right? Anyways, it says for this reason, the years will come upon them when they will disturb the order and make an abominable day a day of testimony, an unclean day a day of feast, right? And this is why you don't celebrate the days, because you don't want to be celebrating the holy days on an unclean day, or you don't want to be celebrating the holy days on an abominable day. This is why we don't celebrate it. right? We celebrate with what we know because we know we can't mess up with what we know. But what you don't know is you don't know which day is the first month of Abib. It's on a Wednesday, right? You don't know. And it's impossible to figure out. Right? So it's better not, instead of you making a fool for yourself and, you over there, man, cooking up lamb and praising the Lord and talking, oh yeah, Lord, this is the day right here, man. You looking stupid. The Lord said, man, what are you doing? This is an abominable day. These days are set for certain times and certain periods. Mm-hmm. That's why when you read in Numbers, right, for us to celebrate the book of Abib, you have to do it on the same day at the same time every single year.
And even with just the language alone, to try to keep these days with this English language is an abomination. When our forefathers kept the feast, they were speaking in their Hebrew language. Because you gotta understand, the Hebrew words have power. So you can't use English words to keep a feast day. That doesn't add up. So we're in a pickle, man. We're gonna have to just keep what we know. The Shabbat, new moon, and Hamashiach is gonna reteach us everything in the wilderness. If we live to see that day. By the grace of the Most High. It's not going to be a pleasant day for many. For some it will, but not for many.
So right now, right, the only thing that you can do is, try to keep the Shabbat, which is Saturday, right? Sundown Friday to sundown Saturday. We all know what the real days are according to the Most High. And, look out and be lucky that you catch the new moon. It's not a guarantee because you don't know because you don't have the watchers out looking at the new moon and knowing where it's set, and then blowing the chauffeur when it comes time for the new. I mean, we just don't know. We're in a, just like Brother Daniel said, we're in a pickle, right? So the best thing that you can do is do what we know, which are the commandments. Wear your fringes. Treat your brother like you want to be treated, right? So forth and so on. That's about the best that we can do right there, man. Because we're in the, we're in the land of our captivity, and man, we're so messed up that we love it here right now. If you got any questions, y'all go ahead and put it down in the comment section, Israel. But Brother Daniel, I think that's it for me, brother. I don't really have it for me.
Yep. I'm just looking through some of the comments to see if anybody had anything earlier. Oh, somebody says, during the pandemic, I heard that different versions of the same stuff were giving to people based on race. Yeah, I heard that too.
I believe it too. Yep.
And I would not be surprised, what I'm saying? Because they've always been trying to, test stuff on us for hundreds of years.
That's right.
Even unto this day.
That's right. Yeah, it says the devil cannot do anything unless he gets permission from the Most High. That's right. And remember, man, the Most High gave Satan 10% of the demons that fell, right? 10% of the demons, which are the Nephilim, that the spirits of the Nephilim, while he put the rest of them in the bottomless pit, right? So, man, you got, I mean, it's a situation where you are going to be battling evil. If you don't keep the commandments, right, you will be battling evil, right? Satan, demons are going to be on you. There is nothing you can do about that, right? Your life is not going to be good. You're not going to have the majority of them. And I don't want y'all to count, right? And that's how Satan does it, right? He'll put, these few up there that have made it off of the strength of wickedness, and then he'll have you going after the same thing. You only know a few rappers that made it. You know what I'm saying? You don't know hundreds of rappers that made it and got rich. No, the rest of them out there trying, it's folly. You know what I'm saying? It's folly. Yeah, you're doing them, wasting your life, right? Wasting your life, living paycheck to paycheck. You trying to hustle something. It's folly, all of it, right? And then that's how Satan works. You better hear about the USA, Israel, and Argentina denying the evils of slavery. Did you hear, brothers? Here, the USA. Oh, they saying that they didn't have. I'm not surprised, man. I'm not surprised they would be denied it. It's something that that the white man is trying to run for a long time, right? I don't know. They call it white guilt or whatever the hell it is, some foolishness. You know what I mean?
He
I don't know,
says-
man.
he
You
says-
know,
Right here, he
What-
says, "What seal would y'all estimate? We're not in any of the seals. None
Yeah,
of the
not
seals.
yet.
Not even the first seal
Yeah,
has
not
fallen
yet.
yet.
okay, right? You're gonna know when the first seal falls. It's not gonna be nothing like, you know, just think of every time the Most High has made His presence known in the scriptures. It's been a big deal, right? Angels come down, whole cities are destroyed, right? Fire and brimstone come from the heavens, right? All kinds of craziness, right? That's what you got to look forward to, right? When you see something going down, you're not gonna look for no little piddly wars and this other crap that we have going on. When the Most High comes and then makes some strikes, man, we already see that the Most High, He uses he uses nature, right? Nature and things of biological means to do attacks. It's not anything that you're gonna know, man. You can hear that trumpet blow. I guarantee you, the whole earth is gonna shake. They gonna know what time it is. The Most High, He don't move in silence. We've never seen in the scriptures. You don't see the Most High send Hamashiach and He doing stuff. He's never moving in silence. Everything He's doing is loud and proud. It's my name's on it. That's what He says, man. He said He's doing stuff for His name's sake. You can't, man. You can't even, man. If you, you can't even talk bad about Hamashiach, right? If you speak His name in vain and saying some wicked stuff about Hamashiach that He didn't say, He coming for you, man. You cannot do any blasphemy. You speak bad on His name, you going to hell. That's all it is to it. He's not playing about that.
That's what happened to that. That's what happened to that Rap the News dude, man.
Nah, man, he ain't
always
using no
doing
damn
stuff like
nuclear
that.
missiles. Why would he? Nah, bro.
Nah.
He's not using nuclear. Why would he need that? Right? Fire and brimstone, right? Destroyed, right? All of Egypt. Remember? Right? The most High, He don't need that. Nuclear missile. He don't use nothing man-made. You can't never go in this anytime in the scriptures and see the Most High doing something man-made. It's never. He
Never.
don't use man-made objects.
Always been by the natural elements.
Time.
Destruction.
Or the
That's-
spirit of
that's
His
been
people.
Yeah, that's from thousands of years, man. So that right there tells you the technology of man. Like even after thousands of years, you even let's just say that America had the strongest nuke. Man, that wouldn't even come close to dispensing a tornado. Man, an F5 tornado will swallow that nuke up. That just tells you the powerful raw force, man, of nature will outlast any technology that man can ever come up with. And maybe the Most High has allowed this time to pass just to mock man, so that he can think that in his own heart that they can think that they can create up weapons against the Most High. Most High says, "Okay, I'm gonna give you boys some time and let you conjure up whatever you're gonna conjure up, so I can just destroy you with my simple powers."
That's right.
So that's
I mean,
the
like,
power of
it's-
the element.
Like you're actually by thinking that the Most High is going to destroy stuff with man-made missiles, you're actually taking away from the power of the Lord. Right? The power of the Lord, you're thinking about it, right? The 10 plagues was for what? Right? The Most High, He didn't use engines from other armies or anything like that to come in and destroy Egypt. Right? The 10 plagues were brought on Egypt as a show of power to His people, of how powerful He was.
And
That's
that
how
was
the
light
Most High
work.
gets down.
And that was light work for the Most High.
That's right. That's how He gets down. I mean, man, the destruction was so bad that we don't even know what happened on what was that? Sodom and Gomorrah. They couldn't even look around and see how the angels had dealt with them boys. Destruction. That's all we know. Yeah, brother. So definitely the Most High is not using any atom bombs or any crazy stuff like that, man. That stuff is no. That's not how He gets down, right? He gets down with the power, with His own power. That's a small thing. God, you're supposed to be a racist. Absolutely. Every single one of you, right? And that's the trick of America, to try to prevent you from being a racist, and how you want you to view all these heathens, right, as equal as you when they are less than nothing compared to the Most High. You're only equal to heathen if you don't keep the commandment.
They got it from us, man. Because look, our history, when we drove out the Philistines, we drove them out. They were a different race of people. We drove their asses out, and we were not supposed to mingle with any other race of people. That's why the heathens are so good at what they do now, because they understood what our people were and what we become. So they use the same tactics, but they're not the holy ones, though. That's the only difference. We are.
Right.
So we're not supposed to be mingling with other people, other races of people. We're supposed to hold our people higher than all nations.
That's right. That's how it's supposed to be.
Because the scripture says that we are holy people.
Babylon is an abomination and it always has been.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now we don't go around beating our chests, blowing the trumpet before we give our alms or anything like that. But we live it through keeping the commandments. And that's how we become a holy people. That's how we exalt ourselves above the other nations, by keeping the laws, statutes, and commandments.
That's right. You don't go to the heathen and say, I'm better than you, or do this. No, man. They're not even supposed to know that you're even feeling that way. Right? Because you're not supposed to be dealing with your people. Right? If you're out there talking to the damn heathen and talking, man, that's just like you speaking to the enemy. You're letting them know what's going on. Let me tell you what the scriptures say. Scriptures say, why are you telling the enemy what's going on? Right? That's our playbook. That's the playbook of Israel. Nothing in there has anything to do with them other than pain, destruction, and slavery. That's it. That's the only thing that the Bible has for them. Right? You don't need to tell them that, and then all of a sudden that'll get them to hate you. All of a sudden, oh, you think you the people of the book that we going into slavery? No, that's foolish. The scriptures say what? You don't give pearls to swine.
That's right.
And the heathen are swine.
That's right. Man, it's been good, Israel. Worshiping, fellowshipping with you brothers, sisters today. It's always good. I'm gonna let that background play because I like that little background back there, man. That background in the back. There you go. It's pretty dope, man. It reminds you of the fallen angels, man. Fallen angels being buried down in a deep pit somewhere.
The abyss of Abaddon was coming to get the was coming to get it. The angel of the bottomless pit with the key of Abaddon.
All right, Israel. Well, I don't have anything unless Brother Aton got something.
No, that's it, Israel. Man, I just wish y'all to strength throughout the week. You know what I'm saying? May the Most High bless each and every one of y'all, and grant y'all with the strength, right, and the fortitude to make it throughout the week.
All right, so we're gonna take a break right quick, and we're gonna come back and get on the women. No, I'm just kidding.
All right, just kidding.
Hey, sisters, don't take offense to that. That's a joke. Hey, I bet some of the brothers like, oh yeah, let's get it.
Wow, man.
All right, Yasharel. Well, hey, we pray that you all continue to have a blessed Shabbat, and until next time, by the grace of the Most High, we'll see you soon. And with that being said, we're going to bid you a hearty Shabbat Shalom.
And stay strong, Israel. Stay strong.
All praises.